Yeah, I mean, even in their, like, promotional pictures, it is just piles of action figures, and some
Yep.
of them broken, and a lot of them dirty.
So if anybody's like wondering what the fuck we're talking about, we went to Quake Collectibles,
In
Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah.
And Matt, you made
Me.
me you, Matt,
Matt.
made me loaf around
I'm Matt.
while
Mhm.
you looked at how many boxes of comic books?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, it was at least 6.
It was that's at least how many there were.
There was another one on the floor. Oh, there's a picture of it. It was
Oh,
9, and then there was another one to the side, so um, it was 10, but
a
the
lot of questionable comics in there.
a lot of weird shit. There also, some weird comic storing practices. They put, like, a big sign or something on top of the comics with 2, like, 2 legs sticking down that just went into the, like, smushing the comic books.
Oh god, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's just like a chunk of 2 of the boxes were just completely crushed. But that's how, like, this store works. Like, half of the boxes, like, as you were walking around, you were looking at something, just boxes
Yeah.
would fall
I
just
know.
constantly, and the guy
It's like,
didn't blink an
"Sorry."
eye.
I know.
It was
I kept, like,
absolutely not, yeah.
floundering and like that I was wearing that large vampire coat, and I was you probably didn't see, I was knocking over everything because the aisles were so dense.
There was it there were so many just piled on top of stuff that I
Yeah.
ended up just, like, chucking them, right? I would just come to one and I'd just throw it to the side because it's like, what else am I supposed to do here? You know, like, you don't have any. I think this is what you're asking of me, actually.
Yeah. This is the type of store that if one other person was in the quote aisle, because these are manufactured
Mhm.
aisles, because the aisles, the walls are made up of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, does it yeah, it's just made up of more stuff. So if there is one single other person in the aisle you can't get through, you have to, like, backtrack and be like, "Sorry, sorry, sorry,"
And,
while you're
you just
knocking over 50 versions of Wolverine.
yeah. I mean, on that subject, you just kept picking up every action figure you saw and asking me if it was an X-Man.
Excuse me, I was asking if it was an X-Men's,
And
'cause that was cuter.
there's a good chunk of time there's a good chunk of them that were. You didn't realize it.
Yeah, that store rocked. I wanna go back to that store.
Let's go back to that store. Let's turn off the podcast right now and go back to that store.
Alright, alright, see everyone
Bye,
later.
everyone.
We're going.
We're good.
Alright, I'm gonna start the music
Yeah,
there.
that's fun.
What was that action figure with no head?
Oh, it's just an action figure. I have no idea what it was.
Oh, you have no sorry.
Holy shit!
I'm sorry.
Scared the fuck out of me.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Save Your Game. I am one of your hosts, Pushing Up Roses, and I am 1 year older, making me 25 years old. With me, as always, is Matt Ockamp, my co-host. Hey Matt,
Hey,
how's
what's
it
up?
going?
Man, you are fucking old. 20
Wow.
25?
I
God, you
know,
feel like it like the skin falling off of your body at this point?
yeah, I am absolutely falling apart, decrepit. I mean, you saw me the other day, and it was a sad sight to behold. I had a cane.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you threw out at least 3 backs.
It was hard, man.
Yeah, I don't know
It was
how. I
tough.
don't know how, but you did.
Why I kept knocking over everything in the collectibles store. I was just trying to hobble my way through these.
Just
Yeah,
li
it's
you
hard.
were that's why we went into the collectible store to begin with, so you could try to find some more backs.
They didn't have any. Just FYI, I looked. We looked.
How was your birthday?
It was really great. It was really, really great. I felt very, very loved.
Okay,
Um,
good.
yeah, I have. really amazing friends. I feel very fortunate. I'm gonna cry if we keep talking about it. But I had
Well,
2
they're
friends.
also all my friends now, I took them.
I know, which I was a little scared about. I'm like, "Ah,
Yeah, now they're all mine, and they
really
all
don't need
hang
my
out with me,
coworkers, like,
and they're all
mingling."
and they're all moving here
They're all
to
moving to Philly?
yeah, they're all
Well,
moving
that's
to
a
Philly.
lie.
They're all moving to Philly because they can't stand to be away from me. It's,
Yeah,
it's
I know
it's
that is
nice.
completely false because all my Chicago friends would never leave Chicago, but I did have 2 obviously, 2 friends who came in from out of town,
Mhm.
and one was you. You came in from Philly, and you got here a little early so we could hang out and play Myst and go do all the things.
Yes, we did play Myst.
We did I beat
People are
Myst.
gonna be so excited to
I beat Myst, guys.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to talk about
We'll
this.
talk about it. Honestly, I posted that on Blue Sky, and now people think I really beat it, and
That
I'm
you really
feeling a
beat
little
Myst.
bad, and
Yeah.
maybe I should maybe I should say something.
I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
say right now you didn't beat Myst, but you did get further than you ever got before, and that's
Yeah.
something to be proud of.
In my heart, I beat this game.
Yeah, yeah.
And the other person who came out was my friend April from Milwaukee. That's a little bit
Mhm.
easier. That's about an hour and a half train ride, but it's still a big deal. Like anybody who comes from, over an hour to come spend time with me is awesome. And we had atomic cake that Matt was confused by.
I just don't like the combination of fruit and chocolate.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's well, no, it's just the thing is it's not good is the only
The
thing I
thing is,
don't like
it's
about
not
it.
good.
That's the
Wow.
only thing. Everything else about it I like. The only thing I don't like is that it's actually not good.
Yeah, except for that it tastes like trash, but everything else is fine about it.
You get it. You
Yeah,
get
I
it.
get it. I got you.
But
Um,
it's the what is it called? I almost called it a king cake, like, in Mardi Gras.
king
The
cake.
atomic cake,
Atomic
um,
cake. Yeah.
you know, was totally edible.
Oh,
You
good.
could
I'm
eat
so
above the
glad.
chocolate and below
Yes.
the chocolate.
You can take the chocolate out, and there's really only
Mhm,
a layer of chocolate cake, so it's not like you're dodging like filling or syrup.
mhm.
You're just literally dodging dry cake, and there you go. Um, no, but the real question is,
Yeah,
what did you
I'm ready
think
for the real
of the
question.
pizza that we ordered? We did order a deep dish.
Mhm.
I know people are going to be bothered by this, and there's going to be a lot of argument. What did you think? I want to preface this by saying we got back pretty late, and my favorite place was closed, so I went to something else. So this
Mhm.
was not my favorite deep dish, but what's your opinion?
I liked it. I mean,
Oh, good.
I don't feel very strongly either way about Chicago pizza. Like, sometimes I will make fun of because sometimes Chicagoans seem like that's what they want. They seem like they want somebody to challenge them on their pizza. So
Sure.
sometimes I will make fun of Chicagoans, and say that their pizza isn't a pizza, it's just a casserole. But, um, it's good, it's pizza. It's
Yeah, it's
it's like,
good.
it's just a very thick pizza, so you end up, feeling s a lot sicker, a lot quicker is the good old Chicago rhyme.
Feeling
Uh,
speaking of feeling sicker quicker, how about the Malort shot?
it burns the tongue is the thing. That's the thing about a Malort shot. That's the thing that you guys don't realize about a Malort shot if you've never had one, is you're used to alcohol maybe burning your throat a little bit, maybe warming your esophagus on its
Oh,
way
sure.
down,
Sure.
maybe even, like, a little, like, shock to the mouth.
Mhm.
But the thing is, Malort sits on your tongue and burns it.
Yeah, it's
It's
bad.
yeah, it's as if you rubbed, like, poison oak or something across your tongue.
Ew. Yeah, like we Chicagoans, we're an aggressive people, and we like to quote surprise unsuspecting
Mhm.
non-Chicagoans with a celebratory shot of Malort. And I also had one, so I'm not above it. I had one, and a group of our friends had one because we were at a bar.
Yeah.
Coming off of my friends were in a show, so everybody was ordered a Malort, and I think we collectively were like, "Oh!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I've had Malort before too, and it was still just a massive shock to my system.
Yeah. No, I have too, and it was worse than I remembered somehow.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
already knew. I already knew I was gonna hate this thing, and it was like, "Oh, no." And I didn't
Some
have a
yeah.
chaser. I had to, like, go run to the bar to get a chaser.
Somebody told us later in the weekend that it is possible to get a bad batch of Malort.
Yeah,
So
somebody did say that.
that's another thing you have to contend with apparently. It's
But
like, "Oh,
here's
the worst tasting thing on the face of the earth could also be, uh, bad?"
a bad batch, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's another interesting thing. So, it
Yeah.
took us a while to get those Malort shots because they were out at the
Yeah.
bar, meaning that people do drink this. They had to, like, go into the back and see if they had more bottles of Malort because they had run out in the front. So people would be drinking Malort.
Yeah, yeah, people also swallow fire. People also,
That would be
uh
better. I would much rather do that than take a Malort shot again.
Um, yeah, but o overall, it was a real fun time, and you didn't, but you did, but you really didn't beat Myst. How tell tell the fine people about Myst.
So, a little bit a little bit of an origin story here. We were talking as you do. You tend to talk to your co-host about games. I don't know, somehow Myst came up, and I don't remember why. And I just remember deflatingly asking, "Will you play Myst with me?" And I think that's how I asked too, just like, "Will you play Myst with me?" Like I really wanted to get somewhere in this
Mm,
game. I don't
mhm.
know why. It just maybe because I owned it as a kid and never got anywhere, and then tried to play it as an adult and got stuck in the tree. I don't know. It was a
Right.
thing. Uh, and you're just like, yeah, yeah, we'll play Myst.
Yeah.
Um, so we did. I didn't own it. I owned it in box, strangely enough. But we had to buy it on Steam. We bought the masterpiece edition or something. It's the regular Myst.
That was the first puzzle,
That
is
was the first puzzle.
which of these versions of Myst do we buy? I can't tell any difference between them.
I know. I was like, I just want. This is insane. I just want the regular old Myst. And I guess we could probably tell by the prices because, like, the newer versions of Myst, they're like 20, $25. The original is like 6. So I'm like,
Right.
okay, this is $6. This has to be, the original version. Um, so the first thing I do, I'm like, I'm just gonna show you how I play. And I did, and I just, I farted around. I thought you could jump off of that ledge by the dock. You can't.
You could not get that through your head. I also
I
want
couldn't.
people to get this in their mind is like it's not just you tried to climb up and by okay. This is at the very beginning there's a doorway that looks kind of slanted
Yes.
by the docks and Roses kept trying to climb up the doorway like it was a little ramp. And wouldn't go, and she wouldn't go as she was getting more and more frustrated. And I just had to be like, and she's like, "Why won't it?" And I'm just like, "You can't do that. You gotta go around." And then when she was on the other side, she kept trying to jump down off the cliff.
And not just one time. You
No,
understand.
so many times.
And you wouldn't even stop me. I would just wait until you laughed at me, and then I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh my god. There should be a
there was
jump button. There should be a jump button in Myst."
well, maybe one of these future updates they'll add a jump button.
I mean, do you guys know what I'm talking about? So there's gotta be other people who wanted to jump off that ledge. I refuse to think I'm
I
the only
mean, most
one.
people who play Myst want to jump off a ledge at some point, but
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
mm.
So remind them, how long has it been since you've played Myst?
Whew, I'm gonna say 5 years.
Okay, so that's enough
Mm,
time for you
I
to
would say
maybe.
let me change that. I think it's
Okay.
6 years because I think
Oh.
it was the vacation I took the year before the pandemic.
Hmm.
So it would have been 2019. Holy shit.
Yeah. So that's more than more than enough time to. kind of quote forget some of these puzzles, I
Mhm.
think. So yeah,
Yes.
so we went around and my only goal was to get off the first island. That was my only goal. I had never done it until adulthood. I didn't know you could. I thought the whole game was on
Mhm.
like the Myst Island. Um, and now I think I understand. I think I said something semi controversial during the game, which I think will spark maybe an argument. But I'm like, you know what? Myst isn't a bad game. This is actually pretty. This is a pretty good game,
It
which
is
is
pretty
controversial.
good.
Like there are adventure gamers who really hate this game with like every fiber of their being.
Yeah, well, here's why they're wrong. It's a good game, and I think I think there's a couple things. I think first people, uh, are resentful of the Myst clones,
Sure, sure.
um, that happened in, from when did Myst come out? 95? Um, so from the, release of Myst all the way up to 93. So from 93 all the way up to like 2005,
Mhm.
people stopped making point and click adventure games and just started making
Yeah.
clones of Myst. And
Yeah,
so
trying to
that's
strike gold again, you know?
yeah, and so that's frustrating to see I- when you might be thinking, well, hey, art isn't in competition with each
Right.
other. In this case, it kind of was because
Yeah.
Myst was popular and point and clicks were losing popularity. So people, like, literally, studios were choosing: do we want to do a point and click or do we want to do a Myst clone? And they would choose Myst
Right.
clone. So
Right.
yeah,
It's kind of the same thing as when adventure games saw people do 3D and they thought that was the future. So everybody started doing 3D games and
and
Monkey
then you
Island
get
in 3D and Gabriel Knight in 3D.
yeah, the
King's
2
Quest
worst
in 3D.
examples.
Yeah.
Or the 3 worst examples, I'm sorry, I forgot about King's Quest, holy cow. I kinda liked that game, but anyway,
Yeah, some people do for sure. But
it's
like
not a
yeah,
good yeah,
I was
it's
saying
not a good
I
game, and it's not a good adventure game, but it is a game I enjoyed.
you know what? And that's fair.
Mm.
That's how I feel about a lot of games, honestly. But yeah, so I kind of conceded like this is a good game. It
Mhm.
looks really cool. It's got a vibe to it. It's got an atmosphere. It's kind of spooky. It's not meant to be. There's like literally nobody in this game, but I did like it even though I'm not
I
good at it.
I wanna disagree, I think it is meant to be spooky.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's meant to be scary, but I
Yeah.
think you are meant to feel a little spooked out and uncomfortable the whole time.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Otherwise, I don't think they would put those like music stings. Like when you go into
R
like a basement or something, there's like these kind of spooky music stings.
Right, right. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that sets a tone, and that tone is almost entirely spookiness.
Yeah, and plus you're alone. Like I've definitely
Yes.
described these games as lonely, and that's why they're not some of my favorite. I definitely like an adventure game where there's many characters to talk to, but I would say because the vibes were so strong in this game and you're reading books and you
Mhm.
are understanding that people were on these islands, it's better, right?
Right.
But I'm not good at this game. These are puzzles I am not good at for whatever. Like I was telling you, we were looking at the puzzle in that pool room, and it wasn't hitting my head to look at the pool every time I did something. It just wasn't because
Uh,
in point and clicks, things happen on screen where you can see them.
I wanna just, for the listener, there's a room with a, image projector, and the image it
Okay.
is projecting when you go into the room is a rippling pool, and you can press a button on the bottom, and it turns off the rippling pool and just shows you a bunch of, like, lenses.
Right.
Um, and what you were mistaking there was thinking that the pool was the thing being off and the lenses was the thing being on,
Right.
which isn't
Right.
I don't like might sound ridiculous while explaining it out loud, but in it was a perfectly reasonable assumption in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, and you had to kinda steer me in the right direction, like, "I think it is on." You know, when the pool was filled, I'm like, "Oh, it is on already, oh my god."
I had to be like, so you know how it says, what was it? I forget what it says, like disturbed water or disturbed pool or something
Water
like that.
turbulence pool, I have
Water,
it written down.
yeah, water turbulence setting, and I was like, that does kind of look like turbulent water.
It does. And like I said, that didn't come naturally to me
Yeah,
because usually in point and clicks or in any really at any adventure game, you see things happening on screen.
right.
So I put in like a number, saw that I didn't get a response right away because I'm not actually when you're inputting numbers, you're not looking at
Mhm.
the image projector. You're looking at the control box. So I didn't get any soundbite of affirmation. Like I was just like, okay, I don't know what I did. And a lot of Myst is like that. Like there's those cable boxes, those electric boxes that when you
Mhm.
pull them, I think something did happen, but there's no real confirmation that it did. There's no like electric
Correct.
buzzing sound, for example. There's just nothing to indicate. So I feel like in this game, you are doing things, but you're not really sure what you did until you
Yes.
discover it. Yeah.
It's even worse in Riven.
Yeah.
I think the idea behind Mist, as I usually describe it, is it's like if you have a piece of, I mean, just imagine a piece of, say, Earth technology, just regular old technology in front of you that you've never seen before, and you don't even know the context in which it was used.
Right.
Um, the question is, if you did something correct, would you even know it?
Right.
Right? If you set a blender to the right setting when it's off, you don't know it until you turn the blender on, right?
Right.
And you won't know either it's on or that the blender's running until you plug it in. And some of the things in the Myst series don't have those frames of reference like plugs or on buttons or some do, but the technology is entirely different. So it's
Mhm.
um you could get lucky and do it all in the exact correct order, and
Right.
everything in Myst seems like the easiest shit in the world. But chances are you won't, and yeah, you're just going to be flipping switches and turning things, and then having to go around, be like, oh, I didn't try this switch while that lever was
Mhm.
pulled. Oh, I didn't
Right.
try this number in this screen while that lever was pulled and this switch was red instead of green, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Um, and that can be really tough, especially if those things are 5 screens away from each other, which in this case
Yeah.
it wasn't, but in some other cases it is.
Yeah, it was tough and like I did don't get me wrong, I did understand some of these puzzles. I got the markers right away. I knew we had to do something with the markers and the rotating
Mhm.
tower. And so some things are intuitive, but like I even hesitate to call these like logic puzzles because they're a little bit beyond that to me. They're more
Hmm,
than a lot. They're more than a logic puzzle to me because you are
okay.
traveling to get places. You are really trying to figure something out. And I think it really starts out abstract. I don't think it starts out logical. So while I understand that their logic and the way that, oh, that made sense now that I did it, it's not, dream logic, but it's also like more than that.
Okay.
Does that make
My
sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. My argument would be though that everything you're doing is logical, you just don't know the logic yet. So I totally
Mhm.
get it. At the beginning, you don't feel like you're using logic as much as you feel like you are just exploring and
Yeah.
trying and invoking trial and error. But there is a very defined logic behind like relating to everything you do. So that's why I would still call it a logic game, but I can see what you mean.
I think they're a step up. I think, yes,
Mhm.
they're logic, but they're better than your typical slider
Mhm.
puzzle, pipe
Oh,
puzzle,
right.
Sudoku.
If
Like, I think they're better than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, if we're using like that colloquial, when you say logic puzzle, you're imagining, oh, move one matchstick so this changes from 4 to 9 or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
No,
I think
I
in
think
that
they're well
case, it's
thought
very
out.
different. Mhm.
Yeah. And so that being said, I got off the island. I got off the first island. There are more islands than I could even remember. It's like 4 other islands.
So you
Um,
beat Myst.
so I beat Mist. Guys, I beat
That's
Mist.
you
And
have to get
that's
off
it.
the island. It's a game about getting off the island, and you did it. And it keeps going after that, but only as a joke. It's not you're not
Yeah.
actually supposed to solve it.
Yeah, you don't need to do all that. You just gotta get off the island, and I did that, you know?
Mhm,
No, it
mhm.
was fun, and I will continue it. In fact, I might even do a video on it called "Is Myst Actually a Bad Game?" Hmm. That'll be fun. Maybe I'll become a huge Myst fan. That would be a strange, story arc for me as a character online.
Right? If you just start gobbling up all the mist. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I hey, I could see it.
Yeah, I can see it. That's just what I do. I see I find new things and then it becomes my personality, and now my personality is missed.
Now your personality's missed. Well,
Yes.
thankfully, Blueprints is out, so you can focus on that. Like, that'll scratch the mist itch. The
I
mist
mean,
itch. Ew.
hopefully ew, ew,
Ew.
the missed stitch.
I got
I mean, hopefully that won't be as
I
'cause,
went into the I went into the swamp and I came out with the mist itch.
hopefully blueprints will be, like, even a little easier for me, 'cause I
Mhm,
I do feel like Myst had some obtuse things going on, that I found like, I just don't know if I would have ever gotten there
mhm.
without your guidance, but I think there's more going on in blueprints, so we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the very least, sometimes in Myst, you're like, there are 4 things for me to touch, and no
Right.
matter how I touch them, I nothing seems to happen. In Blueprints, there's a million things for you to do. It's just that after
Okay.
a while, it's gonna feel like you're re if you don't know how to make progress, if you haven't figured out how to make progress, it's just gonna feel like you're doing the same thing over and over and over,
Right.
which I'm sure can be very frustrating and sometimes frustrates me. Sometimes I'm like, I'm not making progress, and I have to sit and make like a to do list.
Yeah. And that's, what's the date here? Is that out now? Today?
It came out
Or
uh,
yesterday? Or
9 days ago.
Blueprint really?
Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry. I forgot. I forgot. In my brain, I made a week be 10 days. It came out 6 days ago.
We're good at stuff. So yeah, you should be able to play that now. And if you guys want to let us know what you guys think of Blue, see, Matt seems to think that this is the future, that this game is going to be a big deal. Only time will tell. We shall see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I really don't know. I just know in the Discord for people with a press copy that I'm in, every games journalist on Earth is freaking out about this.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay.
I know I'm not alone, but sometimes stuff that people who are really into the thing
Hmm.
love don't don't gain an audience amongst like uh, casual fans.
Yeah,
So it
that's
might
true.
end up being like a cult classic. But either way, if anyone read my review on Adventure Game Hotspot, you'll know I gave it a 100%.
That's insane.
Yeah,
Like, that's so crazy.
I think it is a. There are things about it that frustrate me, but I think it is a perfect. Um, it is a perfect representation of what it wanted to be,
Oh, that's a
and I
great
think
that's a great thing to say. Yeah.
and I think what it wanted to be is something really unique and really ambitious.
Yeah.
So it was hard to find actual criticisms of it,
Mhm.
because even the things that I found myself frustrated by felt like they were on me and not on the game. Right? It felt like um, this was still even the things that frustrate me were a triumph.
That's
um,
awesome.
so yeah, that's why I gave it a perfect score. and I doubt I'm gonna be the only one who did, but I am now, uh, 60 hours
Oh my
into
god.
blueprints, and just today, I discovered some, like, huge things.
Really?
Yeah,
And
I'm
you beat the game?
Mhm.
Oh, you
I beat the
rolled
game in
credits.
about
Let's ju yeah, you rolled
I
credits.
rolled credits at about 10 hours.
Okay. Oh, shit. That's insane.
So I've played about 50 hours since.
Oh my god. Okay, well, that is a great review, honestly. You
Yeah.
don't need anything else. The man puts, like, 60 hours into this game.
It's I mean, I'm gonna have to retire it because e either I'm gonna have to beat it or retire it because at some point, like, I'm thinking about it all the time.
Yeah.
I need to, put my energy into other things, but whew.
That's awesome, though. I love that. I
Mhm,
love that.
mhm.
Um, but other than those things, we've been busy, so we haven't played anything else, but I'm happy that we played Myst. I think that's an
We played
accomplishment, and
Myst,
I'm
we
proud
played
of us.
Blueprints.
Yeah,
We played Myst, I played Blueprints, these are accomplishments.
these are accomplishments.
So
Thank you
why
for
do we
listening to us.
why are we even doing an episode today then if we didn't play any games?
Well, Matt, we've noticed, or I've noticed, or somebody noticed, that we haven't done a ranking in a while. You know, we've had a lot of great guests on our show lately. We like to give our guests sufficient amount of time to talk about things, especially when it's Dare to Dream. I know you all understand. And we haven't done a ranking in a while. So we are going to dedicate some time to ranking every single adventure game, whether we've played them or not.
Whoa.
I know.
That sounds fucking exciting. Is it ever clear that when we start to come to the end of this that I'm playing for time because I didn't have up the Swanky Maximino
No, it's not. Well,
chart?
now it is. Now people are
Yeah.
going to be like,
I people are gonna yeah, if you go back and listen to every episode right before Swanky Maximino plays right before our first break, you'll see me
yeah.
kind of treading you'll sorry, hear me kind of treading water for a little bit. Or like I'll just you'll be like, why did Matt seem to start a thought that he didn't have it like
He's
he
like
didn't
really
really have
meandering. I don't
fully.
know what's
Yeah.
going on here.
But what I would like you to do is
Mhm.
play Pranky Cargorino, and we'll come back and we'll rank every adventure game that's ever been made.
Woo.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Save Your Game. I am Matt. This is Roses.
Hi.
Hi.
What up?
Nothing. I'm just hanging here thinking maybe I'll try and figure out how good and or bad every adventure game ever made is.
I think about that all the time, to be honest. Like,
Mhm.
you think about blueprints all the time. I
Mhm.
think about, 4,000 adventure games in like a numerical list type thing. That's what I think about.
Well, that's normal, I think.
That's just normal. Yeah.
I think that's just what normal people do.
Yeah.
Hey, Roses.
Yes.
Well, first, I guess let's say the rules. This is we have a list of every adventure game ever made on a. It's just a big long Excel spreadsheet. Has around 4,000 games on it by now, and we have them all linked to a number. I pull up a random number generator, roll a number, and we put that game, whether we've played it or not, on a ranked list of the
Yes.
best adventure games of all time. So if there is, if we only have pulled one adventure game, we're up to 67 now. But if we'd only pulled one, it's the best and worst adventure game of all time, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So, Roses, do you want to? I might have to get this to you. Do you want to quick read everybody? If we're going to spend the whole episode doing it, do you want to quick read everybody our
Our
list?
top. Yeah.
Top 67?
We only have 67? I feel like we had so much more.
Sorry, our top 86?
Okay, I was just like, I thought we had like 80 something. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so we have
Oh
got a
my god,
list.
Portal.
We've got a list of 86 adventure games ranked in order of best to worst of all time. And remember, we haven't played all these. The other rule is we can skip one per episode, and we can only change a ranking if we play the game for the first time.
Right, which is probably not gonna happen very often.
Not very often. All right.
Unless we get, like, really inspired, I guess, but yeah. Let's see, you want me to rattle off we'll start off with our top 10 so
Okay.
far, alright?
Yeah.
Number 1, Portal, followed by Portal 2, The Last Door Season 1, Chants of Sonar, Tangle Tower, The Cat Lady, Fran Bow, Papers, Please, Pajama Sam 2, Thunder and Lightning Ain't So Frightening, or Aren't So Frightening, I don't know why I said ain't, and at number 10, Lamplight City. So
That's
those are
like a
our
pretty good top 10 too.
it's pretty good, yeah. It's pretty good. And we're still I consider, like, 1 to 30 are, like these are pretty good games.
Okay.
Alright, so let's keep going. Uh, Continuing with 11, Embracelet, Cube Escape, The Lake, The Slaughter, Act 1, Phantasmagoria. How did that not get in our top 10?
You know how it didn't get in
Alright,
our
fine.
top 10.
Fine, fine. I will concede to that. Number 15, Scratches, Dreamfall Chapters, Been There, Dan That, Erica, The Book of Unwritten Tales, The Critter Chronicles, Clam Man, Amnesia Rebirth, Orion Burger, Wavetail, Midnight Girl, Lily Looking Through, Related, Chapter 1, Everything is Back. Yes, we are going to get some weird some weird titles in here. The Pawn, Agatha Christie, and Then There Were None. Nancy Drew, Ghost of Thornton Hall. And at number 30, Amos Green's Final Repose. That fucking classic. All right.
Classic, absolute classic.
All right, continuing. Last Half of Darkness, Beyond the Spirit's Eye. Byzantine, The Betrayal. Murder, She Wrote, which should be way higher. Legend of Hand. Valiant Hearts, The Great War. Ben Jordan, Paranormal. Why are you laughing? I know, these are horrible names. Ben Jordan, Paranormal Investigator, Case 7, The Cardinal Sins. Followed by Ben Jordan, Paranormal Investigator, Case 1, In Search of the Skunk Ape.
We got 2 Ben Jordans on here.
Pine Hearts, Through Abandoned, The Underground City, We Were Here Forever, The Will of Arthur Flabbington, Anachronist, Many Happy Returns, Mission Critical, Hell, a cyberpunk thriller, which got in at 44. I don't know how and when that happened.
I don't know.
Art of Murder, Cards of Destiny, Dark Grim Mariupolis, Baker Street Breakouts, a Sherlockian escape adventure. Good lord. Sentient. Oh my god, at number 49, The Seventh Guest.
It's too high.
It's too high. I was gonna say, wow, we went real low for that. And rounding out at number 50, A Whisper in the Twilight. All right, we're getting into the kind of mediocre block here. Deponia Doomsday, Lifeless Moon, Mazovian Adventure, Missing since January, Cravat and the Secret of the Sorbian King. I'll never get tired of saying that. Cosmo. Ooh, how do you pronounce this?
I think it is.
Cosmonaut.
Yeah, I think it is Cosmonauts.
Yeah, I think it is. Cosmonauts, Escape Reality, Randall's Monday, The Dark Crystal, Ankh, Heart of Osiris, Again, as in there's a game called Again.
There's a game called
number
that's
60.
number 60 again.
Elena, Displaced Reality, Astronomica, The Quest for the Edge of the Universe, Moons of Madness, Voyage, inspired by Jules Verne. Know that we didn't put that. That's the name of the game. Hans Christian Andersen, The Ugly Prince Duckling. I forgot about that. Violet, Long Count, Minecraft Story Mode at number 68. Oh my gosh. 5 Magical Amulets, Batman, Partners in Peril, Miasmata, Super Jazz Man, which sounds better than it is, Blue Force, Dallas Quest, The Fan, James Paris 2, The Fountain of Eternal Drunkenness, Wild Wild West, The Steel Assassin, The Crystal Key, Free DC, Mystery of the Nautilus, Of Light and Darkness, The Prophecy, Enola, Madness of the Architect, and our last 3 worst games of all time at 84, Weird, Truth is Stranger Than Fiction.
By
See,
McGraw-Hill.
by McGraw-Hill Home Interactive.
Unbelievable.
Secret Doctrine, and at 86, the worst game of all time, Limbo of the Lost by Majestic Studios.
Whew!
It's a
That's so
lot.
many. That's a lot.
It's a lot, and we can't change them, even though Phantasmagoria should be number 1. But we can't. We can't do it. We can't do it.
So, all that being said, give me a number between 1 and 10.
7.
You're gonna be really happy you picked
Oh,
7.
yeah.
And this might be an argument. This is a Sierra game
Oh, my God.
from 1985.
Oh, boy.
It is number 37 on our list. It is, do you want to take a guess?
Is it one of the King's Quests?
It is one of the King's Quests.
Is it... You said 85?
Yeah.
Is it King's Quest 3?
It is King's Quest 2,
Damn it!
Romancing the Throne.
Well, that's
And this one's
awesome!
okay. King's Quest 1 would have gone really high. King's Quest 3 would have gone really high. King's Quest 2 I don't feel as strongly about as the other two, but it's still going to go
Mhm.
pretty high, right?
It's gonna go pretty high. Yeah. King's Quest 2, I think, is a really interesting game. It's got an
Okay.
interesting mechanic with the multiple doors that you have to open. It
Mhm.
does have that, like, very classic, like, girl in the tower, gotta go get her, and I gotta find my wife. But there is something really magical to me about King's
Mhm.
Quest 2, just because it's very fantastical. You get to go in Dracula's mansion. You get to
That's
go
true.
in Little Red Riding's house. You get to like ride a golden fish. Like there's what
And
else?
if you cross a bridge too many times,
You fuck up. Yeah,
you lose the whole game.
you lose, and that kind of fucking sucks.
It
But
really sucks.
and I think this is the game where there's like a cute little elf house. I think there's a lot to like.
Mhm.
I like it better than King's Quest 1. I'm gonna put that out there.
Oh, okay. I think King's Quest 1, I would put it King's Quest 1 higher just because but King's Quest 1's not up for debate.
Right.
That's not on
It's not
here.
up.
So,
Man, that's tough. Oh my gosh, where do I put that? I mean, it's such a
here's
classic.
right. My feeling, my just gut feeling is I think it goes above Pajama Sam. But I don't know if it cracks. I don't know if it beats Papers, Please.
It's tough. Well, like, how do we compare Papers, Please to King's Quest 2?
It's a completely ridiculous endeavor. That's
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of the bit, huh?
I think that
Is that
King's Quest
you
2
honestly can't compare games in this way.
Right.
But
There's
King's
one
Quest, yeah,
comparison we can make.
what's that?
I think that King's Quest 2 is more of a classically structured adventure game with the parser. Papers, Please has it is an adventure game, but it is a
Right.
little bit of a different thing. So I don't know.
But Papers, Please is saying something while King's Quest 2 is just playing around. I
Mhm.
if It's interesting. I think Papers, Please might be too low because
Maybe.
I have this feeling that it should go below Papers, Please, but I have a feeling it should go above Franbo and the Cat Lady.
Yeah, that's tough, but we can't change it.
No, we
This
can't
is what
change
we
it.
did.
I know. So,
Well, let's put it below Papers, Please, and above Pajama Sam.
okay,
Yeah.
you feel comfortable with it there?
Yeah, yeah.
I think if eventually we get other King's Quests, say King's Quest 3 would probably go way up, like above Last Door or
No, that game
between
is terrible. King's Quest 3? That game
King's
fucking
Quest 3 has a
sucks.
charm to it.
Like, it's
All
one of
right,
my
all right, all
favorite
right.
games, but it is not a good game.
Okay, all right, all right, all right. Here's the next one. This is number 2218 from 2019, developed by Her Studios.
Oh.
It is Nancy Drew, Midnight
God.
in Salem.
Okay, so here's what we can do. Here's what we have to think about. When we get games like this, since they're from franchises, do we want to put them next to each other? Do we wanna put them close to each other on the list?
I think in the case of, like, Ben Jordan,
Yeah.
I think yes, because, they're all so similar in, tone and, artistic vision, but
Yeah.
the Nancy Drew games are so wildly different, right? Like,
Yeah.
there are some that people love,
Yes.
um, and there are some people hate. So if you go to, like if you, like I know this is such a bullshit way to do kind of anything, but if you go to, like, Nancy Drew, games ranked, like, if you
Yeah.
like, search that, and, you go to, like, BuzzFeed, or it looks like there's one, somebody called, uh, Full of Salt.
Yeah.
Um, both of them have things like, uh, the deadly device is very high.
Yeah.
Um, Ghost of Thornton Hall is high,
So
but
is the werewolf one. That one's really good, actually.
Midnight in Salem is not.
Yes, and you know,
Okay, it's
it's a,
not even
quote,
on either
newer
of these
one.
lists.
It's a
Yeah.
newer it's 2019, and I think
Mhm.
the newer they are, the more people are like, "These have gotten, like, not good."
Right.
Um, it's 1,000 reviews, and they're mixed, and the last 2 reviews are bad.
There's a Medium article by Kristen Beal who puts it as the last in her bottom 3.
Okay.
Um, yeah, there's a Reddit thread from 7 months ago that compiles data from all sorts of different places, and it puts Midnight Salem as the second
Ouch.
to last.
Alright, it's gotta go kinda low, and my first, like,
Yeah.
instinct was, like, maybe below the 7th guest in this kind of block where we have, like, Deponia Doomsday, we have a Sherlockian escape adventure, like, maybe it goes in that block?
But Nancy Drew, the other game, the one that people liked, Ghost of Thornton Hall, isn't that much higher than that.
Oh, it's not? Where is that?
No.
Let me look.
That's number 30. I guess that is a lot
Okay.
higher. I Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe we put it around. Is it okay, let's ask questions. Is it
Mhm.
better than Ankh Heart of Osiris, do you think?
I think Ankh is better
Okay.
than Nancy Drew,
Then I'm gonna jump
personally.
down a little bit. How about Moons of Madness? Is it better or worse than Moons of Madness?
I'm gonna say better in my
Right.
personal, like, opinion. I would say better.
Okay, so Astronomica: The Quest for the Edge of the Universe.
Astro. Wow, why do these have to be so hard?
I mean,
Astronomica.
Astronomica: Quest for the Edge of the Universe looks really, really bad, but it has FMV.
Oh, it sure does. Oh, I remember this one now. I think it's
Yeah,
better than this. I think it is better than Astronomica.
okay. And Elena Displaced Reality, the more I look at it, the more I'm wondering why we put it so high.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to really, like, manage this many games.
Mhm.
I think you're right though. I think that maybe should have gone maybe lower.
Well, so then let's put it and then again by Sing
Again.
Entertainment in 2010, um, which is a Nintendo DS game, with FMV cutscenes. Yeah, why
Right.
don't we put it above that or below that, but above Elena Displaced Reality? So it goes
That's
at
fine.
62. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm actually
Okay.
quite intrigued by again. I feel like that is one of
Okay.
those games that I would have found in, like, junior high, and I would have been like, "Oh, yeah. This game's good."
um, all right. So our next game is number 1672. It is from 2016 from Sea Left Studios.
Mhm.
It is called Sleuth Hounds: The Valentine's Vendetta.
What in the world? Okay, Sleuth Hounds. Vendetta. Okay.
So
Okay. Was
this
this not on
guy,
Steam?
what's that?
Is this not on Steam?
It is on itch.io. This guy, so it is a single creator. It's
Mhm.
Richard Hoover, who writes for adventure game Hotspot.
Oh, okay.
Um, this is so he's released a bunch of free games, but Sleuth Hounds: The Valentine's Vendetta, I believe, is one of his paid games. It's one of
It's
his
$2, yeah.
bigger endeavors. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it's sort of uh
I think it looks kinda cute.
it's cute. It's cute, but sort of very hand drawn
Oh,
artwork.
yeah. Yes.
Um Possibly, by hand drawn, I mean possibly made in like Microsoft Paint,
Sure,
um,
sure.
or Photoshop. It is full voice acting.
Mhm. Well, that's impressive.
Some of the some of the puzzles look kind of interesting, right?
Mhm.
There's some logic-y puzzles, there's some point and click puzzles. I think this one
The art reminds me of Arthur, like the
yeah, me
Arthur
too, me
characters.
too.
It's so cute.
I think this one goes above our mediocre block, but not much higher. What do you
Okay.
think?
I would agree with that because it's cute, and it looks like a lot of
Y
work went into it.
Yeah, I think this goes around this looks like a very interesting amateur game block, which is like Dark Grim Mariupolis and Baker Street
Mhm.
Breakout. It's a Sherlockian escape adventure.
It's fucking names.
However, I would put it below both of those.
Okay.
Well, Baker Street Breakouts was a RPG Maker game, so maybe I'd put it above that and below Dark Grim Mariupolis. What do you think?
I think that's fair. I think it should definitely go below, Dark Grim Mariupolis.
Yeah, because Dark Grim Mariupolis is doing some really interesting stuff, while this seems to be mostly just a guy who likes point and clicks making point and clicks.
Yeah.
Which no shade on that, and like always, we kind of want to hype up um, independent
Oh,
games,
absolutely.
creator made games, and I would fucking pay $2 for this.
I absolutely would. Heck yeah. If I saw this as a kid, I'd be like, "I want that."
All right, yeah, I think then let's leave it there.
Okay.
Okay, our next is from it's 3,174. I've seen this
Wow.
game. I don't know anything about it. I think it's been on like my wish list on Steam for a very long time.
Okay.
Uh and it seems interesting. It was from 2023. It's from Indisruption is the
Okay.
developer. It's called Vlad Circus Descend into Madness.
Vlad okay. Vlad Circus descend
Vlad
into
Surface Descend into Madness.
Oh my god, is it about
Um
a circus?
It is about well, so yeah, this is gonna knock it up in your book. It is about you will play a clown,
Heck yeah.
a spooky clown who is
Love that.
uh going insane. There's combat in it and
Okay.
light survival mechanics.
Oh, it's, okay, so this is like survival horror adventure game.
It's pixel art.
Oh, oh my god, I like how it looks.
Yeah, I thought you would.
Oh, I like how it looks.
But it is, it is a little how people feel about combat in their adventure games and
Yeah,
survival mechanics in their adventure games. It does have a really cool look to it. I'll say that.
it really does, and it says it is story rich. I would say this is a hybrid for sure.
Mhm.
But, like, one of my favorite games is Clock Tower for the Super Famicom. That's what it
Mhm.
reminds me of, and that is survival horror, which I talk
Yeah,
about on my channel. I do think that is a genre of adventure game.
right.
So, I don't know where I would put this because it looks so cool. It looks really cool, and it's got a spooky vibe. The art is really nice. It's got very positive reviews. Oh, man, it really looks good. Man, I would be tempted
Though
to put it pretty high.
I do wonder if the art bumps it up in the reviews, because most of the professional reviews I'm reading do say the gameplay gets a little samey.
Okay.
So I don't know. I
You think
do
it
I
goes above the mediocre block?
Oh, of course.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, this game looks like it has some impressive things that it's doing.
I don't remember where our mediocre block starts and ends because we have so many things on here. I'm a
We have
little
so much stuff by now.
yeah, I'm a
Um,
little confused.
okay. I don't think it goes as high as, say, Book of Unwritten Tales.
I'd agree with that.
Um,
Where did that end up?
but I don't think it goes much below. I don't know. What do you think? I don't think it.
Okay, well, comparing Nancy Drew Ghost of Thornton Hall, because that's also kind of a spooky thing. Where how would
Right.
you or like Last Half of Darkness. You know what? I think it's thinking. I am very tempted
Yeah.
to put it above Last Half of Darkness Beyond the Spirit's Eye.
Okay.
But
But
then but
below Amos
then
Green's Final Repose.
yeah, but that's hard because then that means it's going above Ben Jordan, but those Ben Jordan games are older now, so
They're
I gotta,
older, yeah. I think
yeah,
it does
yeah.
go above Ben Jordan. Sorry.
Okay.
Grindaslav. Oh, speaking of which, everybody, we should have announced this a while back. I mean,
Uh-oh.
it's not for us to announce, but I think it's of interest to our listeners. Rosewater is out.
Rosewater! Grudislav Games. Friend of the
Grindaslav
show.
Games, Rosewater, yes. And I haven't had the chance to really play it. I played just the very opening. It looks really fucking good. So
Great.
Rosewater's out, everybody. Go get Rosewater. Leave it reviews. Francisco's been on the show twice. He is a good pal and he makes fucking good games, right?
Makes
I
great
wouldn't
games,
I
yeah.
wouldn't say I wouldn't tell people to do this if he was just our friend. He also makes great games.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That being said, we are putting this game above the Ben Jordan
Yes, we
games.
are putting it above the. I like where you have it. I think I'm gonna
Oh,
leave it
yay.
here at number 32.
Nice.
Okay,
Very
here's
nice.
here's our last one for this block, and we didn't skip any, so our bonus one just gets kicked over to another list, unless you want to skip this one. So it is
Okay.
number 939 from Frogwares in released in 2008. Here's one of these names that you're gonna fucking love, Roses.
Oh, boy.
This is Secret Missions Mata Hari and the Kaiser's
God
Submarines.
damn it! Stop it! Everyone stop it! What is going on? Okay.
um, it looks kind of. I guess it was distributed by Big Fish Game. It looks kind of.
Oh, okay.
It looks kind of hidden objecty, which generally we leave off these lists, but I don't
I
know
mean,
if this one
we
has.
put we put we put Murder She Wrote on there.
That's true, but it was. I think that was more out of it being Murder She Wrote,
Yeah. Well,
because.
you know. I mean, in 2009, we have a review by Jack Allen, and he gave
Oh.
it a 3.5. But that was in 2009, so we have to, gotta think about those kind
Yeah.
of things.
And Frogwares is, Frogwares is up and down. Have you ever played the Sherlock Holmes
I have
Frogwares
not.
games? They
No,
are.
not good.
They are.
I think we gotta put this pretty low.
I think it goes low. I think it goes in the like I think it goes like low mediocre block is where I'm thinking.
Okay.
It does have a fucking killer name. Secret Missions Matahari and the Kaiser Submarines, which makes me want to put it next to Hans Christian Andersen, the Ugly Prince Duckling.
Do it. Yeah, put it
They
that
just
that makes
feel good
sense.
next to each other.
No, that actually makes sense.
Mhm,
Brilliant.
mhm. Okay, so it is our new 69. Nice. Fuck yeah. All right. So we didn't skip any, so I'm not even gonna say this last one. So give me a number between 1 and 10.
Let's do 3.
3. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, first one from this block is, and if anybody's curious what the fuck I'm talking about, I pull these ahead of time,
Yeah.
and I put them in little blocks, and I do 5 at a time, and then I do a little sixth one in case we skip one.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is called The Good or The Bad, the Ugly, and the Sober by Litera Laboratories from
We okay.
2008.
Yes, we are getting a lot of, I guess, what you call like extremely indie games. These are not games that are on like Steam. But this is on Internet Archive.
Is it?
Yes. It looks like you could play it for free if you wanted to. Let me look up
It
though.
looks fucking weird, dude.
Yeah, this looks bad. This
It
looks
looks
really
fucking
bad.
really weird. It looks like a really weird game. I don't know. I just watched a cutscene from it, that had all the people's mouths moving, but no sound coming out of
Uh-oh.
them.
No, this looks really strange. What
I
is
don't know if you can even play it in English, which, whatever. It's not English isn't the beginning and end of all things, but,
Yeah,
um
but it does look really weird.
the main character is a farmer called Jack, once a very accurate shooter. One day, an injured Indian being chased by Black Bill's bandits comes to his ranch. Jack manages to save his life, but in return gets his farm burned down by the bandits. In need of money to rebuild his farm, Jack decides to participate in a bandit tournament in West Town.
Oh my god.
This tournament is organized in memory of the famous robber James Starr, where the main prize is a bag full of dollars and an old portrait of him. In order to win, Jack has to succeed in a number of mini quests like catching and riding a bull. However, as the old portrait includes a map to James Starr's concealed treasure, Jack has to face many competitors, including Black Bill's fearless bandits. It's a kind of classic Western story with
Yeah,
some kind of cool little bits to it.
apparently it is, Russian. Um,
Okay,
and I guess it's also called West Law. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
On Moby Games, it's also called West Law. It has a pretty bad score.
Gamer Node was really looking forward to it in 2008.
Oh god, it's like one of those. You know, it's one of those games from that era
Yeah.
in 3D that I don't know, we probably were all looking forward to this kind of thing because, like, "Oh, another adventure game in 2008,
Yeah.
amazing."
And then you just get let down when it's Runaways or
I
Runaway.
I'm getting bad vibes
I
from
think
this
it's gonna
game.
go. I feel it feels very Onk to me, but
It
maybe
does.
even less.
Yeah.
Maybe even less.
I think it needs to go pretty low.
I don't think it's gonna go as low as, say, Super Jazz Man.
What about, Around Violet? Because you played Violet, so you have right, because so you have,
Yeah, I think I'd rather play Violet than play this. I'd rather
how
play Minecraft Story Mode than play
I would
this.
too. That's what I was just gonna say. I would rather play Minecraft story
Let's
mode
put him
than play
right
this.
below Minecraft Story Mode.
Okay.
Can you imagine the designer of Minecraft Story Mode looking at this list and being like, "What the fuck?
What's wrong with them?
My game is just slightly better than the good or the bad, the ugly, and the sober from 2008."
It's a compliment.
Okay. This next game I've been curious about for a long time.
Okay.
Um, I don't I don't think it's anybody's favorite game,
Okay.
but uh it seems interesting. It's from 2022. General Interactive Co. Is the developer. It's called Chinatown Detective Agency.
Hmm. Okay. Chinatown Detective
It's about
Agency.
a
Okay.
former Interpol agent named Amira Dharma
Hmm.
beginning a new career as a private investigator in Singapore's Chinatown district. Her first case uh, is trying to locate an accountant who has fled the country. Subsequently, she takes on a series of cases from a wealthy heir to return stamps to his philatelist father's collection to their originating. That sounds like it's just a collective collection. Um,
Mhm.
side quest throughout the game. As she solves cases throughout the world, she begins to unravel a web of conspiracies back home, heavily inspired by Carmen San Diego.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. It looks very nice. Like,
Hmm.
it looks like a game that I would, gravitate towards. It does have an interesting array of reviews here. They are mixed, so definitely a good mix of
Yeah.
good and bad here.
Nintendo World Report gave it a 9 out of 10,
Oh,
while
wow.
RPG Fan gave it a 58 out of 100. So it really runs the gamut.
Yeah.
Um,
A few people are just saying it's not very polished, which honestly, I'm so over that phrase being used to describe stuff.
yeah.
Um, this is yeah, it's tough because obviously we haven't played it, and I do think it looks very intriguing.
It does. That's why I think it's been on my wish list for a really long time. It's got this like interesting kind of cyberpunk, like neon cyberpunk
Yeah.
um aesthetic, but with um some kind of like classic or natural elements thrown in.
Mhm. Yeah, and
Thing
like you said, it's
Everything's
got a little
really
bit of Carmen
bright.
San Diego.
Yeah. Everything's really bright and lit up.
Yeah.
There's this amazing even in the screenshots on Steam, there's this amazing night and day back-to-back screenshots of the city, and each one looks beautiful in its own way.
Yeah.
I I think the graphics kick it up a little bit.
It does.
Yeah.
And just the fact that, like, I'm looking at a screenshot, it's, like, giving you that classic Carmen San Diego map with, like, flight
Mhm.
information, and then to the side, it looks like you have, like, your personal assistant or your phone or something, some kinda communication tool, which reminds me of the game we just looked at not long ago,
Mhm.
the window the CD-ROM Where in the World. So, I don't wanna put this too low.
Right. Okay, here's the feeling I'm getting from it. This is just initial reaction, right?
Mhm.
I have this is There's also this another game that intrigued me for a very long time, looked very cool, got mixed to bad reviews, and
Okay.
the gameplay is supposedly not very good, and for whatever reason, I just never jumped at it even though I've been looking at it for a very, very long time,
Uh-huh.
is Orion Burger.
Yep, Orion Burger, man.
So,
Do you wanna
I
put it
I
by Orion Burger?
I would think about putting it by Orion Burger unless you think it goes much lower.
No. No, I'm good with that. Remember, we can choose to play these games and then
And then move
change
them
them.
around.
Yeah.
You're right. It's so much easier to place games that we, haven't played because
Yeah.
we know they don't have to stay there.
Yeah,
But if we
exactly.
have to do a challenge to move them, actually play them.
Yeah.
Alright, then let's leave it there. It is the new number, 24.
Yay.
Okay, this next one I think is gonna be fun.
Okay.
I've never I've never played it. I don't know if you have.
Okay.
It's from a series by Cocktail
Oh, okay. I bet I've played it.
Vision. It is Goblin's
Goblins.
Quest. Goblin's Quest 3.
Okay. 3?
Mhm.
Okay. These games I think you would like, Matt, because they do veer on the more brain teaser puzzles, kind of
Okay.
logic-y puzzles. A lot of people love it for the graphic style and the quirkiness of the goblins.
Mhm.
And
So the
it is an
mhm.
adventure game, but it's like eh,
So it was released okay, there was Goblins
mhm.
in 1991, then Goblins 2, The Prince
Yep.
Buffoon in 1992. Then in 1993, they changed it to Goblin's Quest because they were
Oh,
starting to be published by Sierra. So it was
yes.
supposed to match their King's Quest, Police Quest, Space Quest, blah, 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 Quest for Glory
Yeah.
bit. So,
And then in 1994, that same, developer did put out a very, like, classic point and click called The Bizarre Adventures of Woodruff and the Schnibble, which is
okay.
not a it's not part of the Goblins, like, series, but it is an adventure game that they made, and
Right.
I hope that pops up at some point in our ranking. It's so interesting. Okay, but, goblins, I find it hard to differentiate all the goblins games because they are a little bit samey to me,
Okay.
but I think it does go pretty high, just because
Okay,
of
I mean, yeah,
how beloved it is.
they have some classic appeal to them. They are weird as shit. They look a little annoying, right? You know the way
Sure.
that sometimes when you Simon the Sorcerer is like a
Uh-huh.
perfectly fine adventure game, but there's something about it that's just a little annoying.
I agree.
I think Goblins has that a little bit. Like it feels like if I was not in the right mood,
Mhm.
it would just give me a headache.
Yeah, I could see that. It is a little grating. Like I said, these are very, like, quirky,
Mhm.
like, bizarre games with strange looking characters, but they are very beloved.
How about this? I don't know. Where are you thinking?
Let me look at our list real quick because I think this is gonna sound insane, but I think it should go above Orion Burger.
Okay.
We're putting it I mean, I am comfortable putting it that high because, like I said, these games are a staple in many people's
Right.
childhood games and adventure games. They're
And
very unique looking, you know?
and that makes some sense because Book of Unwritten Tales also had like this is the Book of Unwritten Tales, the Critter Chronicles, which is also a little annoying, but also part of a now classic series.
Yeah.
And that's only two above that. Do we? Okay, what about is it better or worse than Amnesia Rebirth?
Ooh.
Again, this whole endeavor is just insane. This doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
We are comparing. We're
I'm gonna say
comparing.
no. I'm gonna say no, it's not better than Amnesia Rebirth.
All right, so it goes above Orion Burger, below Amnesia Rebirth.
Man, adventure games are a wide, like, variety of genre, and yeah, it's rough.
um,
Remember, we have Minecraft story mode on this list.
okay. All right. This next one, number 2,573, from 2020, not that
Ooh,
old, called uh, "Shady Part of Me."
shady part of me, okay,
Shady part of
thumbs up.
me. Shady part of me.
Huh.
Shady part of me. Shady part of me.
Yeah, how do you say that?
Shady part of me.
I like how this looks.
I kind of like how it looks. It's almost like if Little Nightmares
Hmm.
had a little more point and click energy to it.
Yeah, yeah, or different even, like, different perspectives as opposed to,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, there's some perspective playing. I can't tell. Maybe there's not point and click to it. It's just a little. It's just stylized in some slightly cartoony.
yeah. I like this, I'm very intrigued by this.
Um, yeah, actually, this is already. I'm already getting a bit of an idea about where this should go.
Oh, okay.
Um,
What do you think?
well, no, I want to hear what else you want to say about it.
Well, I don't know, it just looks very beautiful. Like,
Mhm.
it's very much, like, hitting my more artistic side, like, my pretentious artistic side, where I'm like, "Oh, I like some of these design choices here. I like the different perspectives on the different screens."
I'm curious whether how much the aesthetic carries this. I don't. I'm
Mhm.
not reading much anywhere about the gameplay.
Although, like, if the aesthetic is which I think the aesthetic is part of the gameplay, it's, like,
Yes.
part of the experience, so I think that
Okay.
bumps it up a little bit. It's not just an
Yeah.
aesthetic, right? It's there to serve part of the gameplay.
It seems like maybe yeah, you are sometime like it seems like there are two elements. There's controlling you and controlling your shadow um in different ways. Okay.
And people are saying
Here's
it's very unique in terms of a puzzle game.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So this is hitting me really similarly to how Midnight Girl hit me,
Sure, sure.
where we looked at it and it was kind of like, "Oh wow, this looks interesting. I didn't know this existed."
Yeah.
Um, and I guess same thing with Wavetail, right? We felt the same about
Yeah.
Wavetail.
Yeah, I
So
felt strongly, yeah.
how about putting it around there?
We can put it around there.
I know we're clumping everything from this episode together. Chinatown, Detective Agency, Goblin Quest, Shady
Yeah.
Part of Me,
But
if we
remember
put it
though,
there,
we can
are
play
all
this game and change it, so I don't
yeah,
feel too and it does sound like some of these games we might get around to playing, like, we
yeah.
might be intrigued enough.
Yeah, so Shady Part of Me as our new, 27.
Alright. Oh, it looks so cute, I really like it. It's 85% off!
Okay, g get it.
Buying it for $2.
Alright, um, is this, are we gonna do one more block after this, or is this gonna be our last one?
I'm gonna leave that up to you. Do you wanna
Let's do
do
one more block after this. Let's
Okay.
just do this and one more block. Okay.
Yeah, one more block.
So, the last of this block is a game I've played and a
Okay.
game I like a lot. It's from Don't Nod Entertainment from 2020. It's called Tell Me Why.
I've heard
It
of
is
this.
it is the story about a trans man and his sister returning to their a rural Alaskan town
Mhm.
to confront the their mother died in a sort of disturbing event years back, and everybody's kind of tiptoeing around it and takes a while to really understand what happened.
Mhm.
Tyler, the trans man, is very bitter about
Mhm.
some of this, and the two have it's kind of like because it's Don't Nod, so it's kind of like Life is Strange, where there's a magical
I was
element
just
to
gonna
it.
say this looks like it's got that aesthetic and
Hmm.
almost that drama of Life is Strange.
Right.
Yeah.
They have a little bit. They have a telepathic connection, and by seeing some of the traumatic events from their past from each other's perspective, they both learn a little bit more,
Mhm.
and you find out that one of the defining moments of their childhood is something that they've always misunderstood.
Okay.
Um, it's interesting, it's intriguing, it's moving. I really loved it. It was one of my favorite games of 2020.
Okay, this
So
needs to go pretty high because 'cause I'm seeing, it has
it
a lot
absolutely
of
does.
reviews. It's very positive. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll let you, kind of because you've played this game and it sounds like you reviewed it?
I didn't review it. I did do
Oh,
a
okay.
write up of it for a game of the year kind of
Oh, okay.
deal. Um, but I think it goes, dude. I think it goes high. I think it
Yeah.
goes. I don't. Does it? I think it's gonna go. Okay,
Does
it's
it go
above.
above Papers, Please?
It's above Embracelet. I know that.
Okay.
It's above Pajama Sam for sure. It's above King's Quest 2. I think it's below Tangle Tower. I think it might go at our new number 6. But
Okay.
that's really high and you haven't played it. So I wonder how you feel about that.
I am gonna trust your judgment on this because and
Okay.
the judgment of, like, 13,000 other people.
Tell Me Why was really good, and I think, better than Life is Strange.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Oh, that's high praise because that game is very beloved.
It is the best Don't Nod game that I've played so
Yeah.
far.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Alright.
Well, that was a fun one. Um, what Don't Nod games have I played? I've played Jusant and Tell Me Why and Life is Strange. What have
Okay.
you played?
I've played Life is Strange. I don't know if I've played anything else by them, though. Life is Strange, like, that was a weird game. Like,
It was a weird game.
I didn't dislike it, but,
Yeah.
in fact, I got really into it, but it's one of those
Mhm,
things where I got really into it at the time, and now
mhm.
if you even held me at gunpoint, I'd be like, "I don't remember, like, anything that I did." I just
Yeah,
remember that I did enjoy it.
yeah.
It's got
We
that
have talked
aesthetic
about it.
that's not my favorite, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have talked about it on this show.
Yeah, we
when
have.
I played it, but, um,
It's worth
alright,
playing. I'll just say that. It's worth playing.
okay. Give me a number between 1 and 10, not 3 or 7.
Hmm. 9.
Oh, cool. Alright.
Ooh, sounds like a good
9.
choice.
Mhm. 9 is an interesting choice. Well, there's at least 1 interesting game on here I don't know
Okay.
anything about. 2 interesting games in here. Okay, first one. Number 312 from 1995 by Interactive Binary Illusions.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It is Flight of the Amazon Queen.
Oh, okay. Let me just get that up on my. You know what? That's a cute little game. Um,
It's a cute little game.
it
But it's
is.
not great.
A lot
It's
of
maybe a
people
B
love it.
minus of a game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a B minus. You know, it is a little derivative. We've got some LucasArtsy Indiana
All
Jones
right.
things going on.
Here's how I feel about Flight of Amazon Queen. I played it. I played the whole thing,
Yeah.
and then a couple years later, I was like, I've always kind of thought about playing this, and I never finished it, so I should play it.
Mhm.
And by the time I got to the end, I was like, oh, I already played this whole thing and completely forgot.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one of the more memorable adventure games, but it also is a pretty good adventure game. It's hard to place this
Mhm.
one because again, it does have its fans. Like people really do like
Yeah.
this game. They have good memories. And it was also freeware.
Yeah, there's some interesting stuff. That's true that it was freeware. You're
Mhm.
right. I forgot about that,
Yeah.
which is, I guess that's going to bump it up. There's a little bit of racial othering.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
Um, there's a little bit of dramatic tone shifting
Yeah.
where you're in the midst of something not serious but semi-realistic, and then all of a sudden there's just something absolutely bonkers in front of
Yeah.
you, and that can be jarring.
Yeah. Like I said, it is a little derivative of other LucasArts games.
Mhm.
But again, it's
I
freeware.
get
So it's
let's
hard.
Since we've both played it, we can, I guess, expound on this a little bit. The game is you're a pilot, like you're a pilot for hire who's kind of like an Indiana Jones style dude.
Mhm.
Your name is Joe King. Oh, is that supposed to be?
Joking? Yeah, I think
Uh,
so.
I think it's supposed to take place in like the 40s or something, and you are
It's 49,
okay.
1949. Yeah.
You're tasked with transporting this film actress to I don't remember where, but you get you get attacked and like locked in a room for some reason.
Mhm.
Do you remember what this plot is?
No.
You're trying to
I don't.
you end up crashed in the Amazon, and you're trying to save Faye, and there's like a weird mad scientist uh in a base turning women into
Mm.
dinosaurs.
Oh, yeah, it, like, goes unhinged. Like, it's a little off the rails.
And
I forgot about that.
it's it's a very strange it's a really strong cross between like Monkey Island and uh the Indiana Jones games, but
Yeah.
it doesn't hit the quality of either of those. So,
Right. It's sort of I feel like it wants to be in that genre of grand adventure that
mhm.
I kinda talk about, but it's not. It feels shorter than that. It feels more dense.
I think of this game as kind of like a wannabe, a wannabe
Yeah.
classic. Um, and we do have some of those on this list, right?
Yes.
Orion Burger, again, same area the fucking document. Orion Burger is one of those wannabe classics.
I think it's gotta go lower than that though, because Orion Burger, even though it is like
Mhm.
it is familiar, I think it is doing something a little bit more unique. Really look at Flight of the Amazon Queen, and I just see a LucasArts game. It's really
Yeah.
hard not to see those similarities.
And we bumped up Orion Burger because we had an emotional connection to it, even though we hadn't played it.
Yeah. Well, like, I feel more fondly about Orion
Yeah,
Burger, for some reason. I don't know why,
yeah,
and maybe that's just a testament to how kind of, mm, like, middle of the road
yeah.
this game is. So, it definitely has to go below Phantasmagoria. People are gonna get pissed because people do like this game a lot.
I think it's gonna go below Phantasm. I think it's gonna go. I would put it actually kind of further down.
Okay, let's go down a little bit. Would you put it below Dark Grid Mariupolis?
No, I'd put it above
No.
that.
Okay,
You
how
know what?
about hmm?
What if it's right? What if it's we say Ben Jordan learned the lessons of Flight of Amazon Queen and improved on it? So what
I
if
was
we put
kinda thinking that, but I didn't
what if we
quite wanna say it.
what if we put it immediately below Ben Jordan?
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, it's our new 44.
I actually do think that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Um all right, number 3024 from 2023. I've never fucking heard
Wow.
of this game. It's called Frank and Drake.
Frank and Drake. Okay.
It's a modern gothic tale that puts players at the heart of a supernatural mystery through its non-linear branching paths, mini games and puzzles, and unique rotoscoped art. I'm a little bored. I gotta say, reading that
Bored.
description bored me a
Oh,
little bit.
no.
Um,
So, I'm not getting, like, super excited vibes
okay, this art is
looking
actually
at it.
kind of really sweet.
The art is strong. I'm just not getting, like, excited to play vibes, and I usually do if something's really
Yeah,
striking me.
a lot of first person.
Mhm. Story
Um,
rich. Let's see.
yeah, a POC protagonist, which you don't see very often in adventure games.
Yeah.
Um,
A couple people saying like it is very like obviously an indie game or like an art house game,
yeah.
but most people are recommending it. Some people
Hmm.
say it's just not interesting enough to compete with how good the art is.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I mean, that being
Looking.
said, do we put it by a game where we loved the aesthetic and maybe it was just a little bit of a letdown?
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. A game. Let's see. Yeah, because I would play this game, but I wouldn't rush to play this game.
Right.
I would look at this game and be like, okay, all right, I'll get into it, and then
Yeah.
maybe enjoy it. But so, what has that feel to it?
So what the block I'm looking at right now is the Randall's Monday block. It's by Kerbat and the
Oh.
Secret of the Sorbian King. It's by Deponia Doomsday. I'm wondering if it goes somewhere in there.
I would have put it above Kerbat and the Secret of the Sorbian King.
Yeah, I do want to put it below the seventh guest though,
Okay, all
which
right.
is
So that
something
gives us
I
like
don't know
five.
why I'm saying that, but
That gives us like five to play with. I want to put it above Deponia Doomsday. Well, no, that was the one of them that I thought was artistically interesting.
okay.
So why don't we put it? But it is. Okay.
I think it probably should go below Deponia
Okay.
because as
Mm,
much as we're like not the biggest fan, it is doing something interesting with the plot as opposed to people saying this is more of an art house game with a less interesting plot.
all right, I'm sold. Why don't we put it right below
Okay.
Deponia Doomsday?
So persuasive.
Okay. So the next one, this one's a little exciting, although it makes me upset that I didn't play this game yet.
Mhm.
It is by Cosmic Void. It is from 2024. It is Twilight Oracle.
Oh, Twilight. I didn't play that.
Me neither, and I'm bummed
Oh,
out because now it's in our face that we didn't play it, and we should have.
no. Oh, no. Oh, no. And it looks so good, and it has, like,
Everyone
really
said
positive
everyone's.
reviews.
It looks good. Everyone said it's good. Cosmic Void makes good games. We don't have
We
another
do.
Cosmic Void game on here yet. Um,
I mean,
it's gonna go fucking high, dude.
it's gonna go high. Let's think about it the same way we felt about Orion Burger, where we just had to there's something about it where we had to play this game. I
Mhm.
think that's a similar vibe. I
But
would
we
look
know
at this
Orion
and be like,
Burgers.
"Yes."
but we know Orion Burger is gonna be a little bit bad,
Yes, we do.
while I bet this one's gonna be not a little, gonna be very good.
Okay. That being said,
Okay.
does it go below or above Phantasmagoria? I think it's gotta go below.
Below, 'cause it's not, it doesn't have the but, I think it goes above Been There, Dan That. I
Oh, you
love
do?
that
Okay.
game, but I think Twilight Oracle is probably just objectively a better game,
Okay. I think it has to go below Scratches.
and I think it goes below Dreamfall Chapters.
There you go.
Alright.
Boom!
We got it! Wow, what a this is a fucking well-oiled machine here. Do we wanna
Fucking
talk about Cosmic Void for a minute?
yeah, yeah, yeah. They make
Uh,
really good games, and I haven't had time to really dive through them, but everything I see them put out looks
mhm.
really intriguing to me. Like, they did Devil's Hideout, which I
Also
think looks
last
really
year,
good. Wow, I
they
missed it
also did
again.
yeah, they did
Ugh,
2 awesome games last year. They did Blood
yeah.
Nova, which I loved. Well, I liked. They did Corruption Within, which I liked a lot. Uh, they do really interesting
Mhm.
work. They have this, like, what do you even call this? Like, this dreamy, neon, futuristic aesthetic
It's a little
that
it's a little
also
surreal, yeah.
is kinda pixely, so it is a throwback and futuristic at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like they could be up there and get to the level of, like, Wadget with the quality of adventure games that they put out, you know?
Yeah. I I agree. I think they're still working out
Yeah. I mean,
some of the
sure.
yeah,
It kinda reminds me of, like, Dave Gilbert ironing out, like, the Blackwell series. Like, of course, he didn't start, like,
right.
at the top, but I think you can kinda tell when somebody is, like, on a good path, like, when the quality's there, when art is happening.
Right, and Cosmic Void, they just work and work and work,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Um, they just keep putting out stuff, and they keep the things they put out keep being impressive.
Yes.
So, I think yeah. So, even though so this is going, where did we put it?
We put it,
Number 19.
okay.
But Cosmic Void is also just like a very interesting company, and I think if you have not played their games, you should check them out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if you're an adventure game fan, go check them out.
yeah, they're one of those, like, kind of like they're on the cutting edge
Yeah.
of not adventure games entirely, but on the cutting edge of point and clicks
Yeah, fair.
at the moment. All right, this one's gonna be fucking weird, dude. Sorry, I keep prefacing everything with this one's gonna be fucking blank,
But
dude.
this one yeah.
Okay, this is by Winter Night Games from 2018. It's
Mhm.
number 1957 on our list. It is called Archangel: The House of Seven
Oh
Stars.
my god!
And it's not like Archangel, but like Archangel.
What?
ARKH.
Oh, I see, okay. I see what you mean, okay. Alright, let's look into this.
Um, okay,
Well,
there's
this looks
some
fucking weird.
here's some interesting things. In 2018, a reviewer named Kevin Lynn on Adventure Game Hotspot gave it a 2 out of 5.
Whoa! 2!
Shallow characters and unimaginative dialogue, cumbersome and unresponsive controls, quick time events may sour some players, puzzles could may sour some players. That's
Mhm.
so that's Jack Allen's editing right there. I could spot it from a million miles away. Puzzles could present more challenge.
Mhm.
Um, the good, brimming with lore to discover competent emulation of Lovecraft horror, pleasantly simple aesthetic with striking orchestral soundtrack. Puzzles won't impede progress for long.
Okay.
Um,
This is certainly not my type of game that I would gravitate towards.
and yet on Steam, people seem to love it.
They do, very positive reviews, and maybe I would think because it's, like, Lovecraftian, maybe the
Mhm.
lore is really drawing people in.
It's got WASD controls.
Okay, tank controls.
Yeah. I mean, apparently the controls were so difficult, they had to put a screenshot of the
Oh, no.
controller as
Yeah.
one of their Steam
I
screenshots.
see that. Oh my gosh, I see that. So, I don't wanna put this too high because
No.
if I had never heard of it, it didn't have staying power, I'm a little sick of Lovecraftian horror. There are better Lovecraftian horror,
Yeah.
and this
Uh,
is just not an aesthetic that I'm drawn to.
I think you're right. I'm looking somewhere around I think I'm looking somewhere around, like, maybe, like, above Moons of Madness, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere in the 70s is where I'm
Okay.
thinking.
Yeah. Let me take a
Why
look.
don't you look at the 70s and tell me if you agree and what you think?
Alright, well, here's our, like is it going above or below Blue Force by our friend Blue Balls? Like, seriously, I
Mhm,
would put
mhm.
it maybe above Blue Force just because 'cause it's got a little bit more going on.
Okay, so, where I've been updating, the spreadsheet from my computer and not from the dock, so you're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
seeing so I think it goes above Blue Force,
Okay,
but try and jump up around 10 because
okay.
your s your 80s your 70s are my 80s.
Okay, so around Violet?
Yeah, like above Violet.
Oh, I see Moons of Madness now. Yep, yep, yep. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Then
Okay.
again, should it go that high? Should it go how does it okay. Does this look better or worse than Voyage inspired by Jules Verne?
I mean, this is gonna be subjective. I think it looks worse, but that's just me.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
What better or worse than Hans Christian Andersen, The Ugly Prince Duckling?
Worse?
Oh,
I mean,
wow,
I thought
okay.
but here's the thing, I thought that was cute.
Mhm.
It's hard to compare. It's hard to compare The Ugly Duckling to a Lovecraftian horror game.
Alright, how about this? Better or worse than The Bad, the Ugly, and the Sober?
Better,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Better or
better,
worse
better,
than Minecraft Story Mode?
better.
Okay. Better or worse than Long Count? I'm having
Wor
to look I can't remember that one fucking at
No,
all.
I know, these are really, really hard to
Oh, Long
remember.
Count was that one that was, like, kind of 3D, kind of 2D, and clearly based on,
Right, right.
like, Gabriel Knight and had, like, photo backgrounds at some points.
Yes, I
Clearly
think this is better
yeah.
than that. I think this is better than Long Count.
Alright, and I think this looks a little less annoying than Violet. So, I think it goes at our new 78 between Hans Christian Andersen and Violet. So, that's our new list. I think we'll man, I don't even know how we're gonna post this on Instagram, but we'll figure out a way.
We'll
Maybe as a
figure it out,
gallery.
yeah. We'll figure it out. That was a good amount of games, honestly. That's a solid, like, 3 episodes in 1.
We have now ranked 100 adventure games.
Man, we are awesome.
So if you guys are ever wondering what the top 100 adventure games are, they start with Limbo of the Lost and end with Portal and Portal 2 as
Hell
the number
yeah.
1 and 2.
That
We
makes
got,
sense to me.
we got 2 new games in the top 10. Tell Me Why and King's Quest 2.
Yeah, wow, that's kinda rare, actually.
And then even one more in the top 20, which is Twilight Oracle.
Yeah. This was a good run. This is a
Yeah.
really good it's the King's Quest II set the tone there, and I was like, "Oh, heck yeah."
Right. And it's interesting. We only we're getting there. We only have 3,551 to go.
Yeah, well, we gotta move this along because 'cause I'm dying at page 75, so gotta make sure we get these ranked before then.
um all right. Well, Roses, I think we did it.
We
I
did
think that's
it.
our episode.
We beat Myst. I mean,
We
we got
beat
the
Myst.
episode.
um Everybody, thank you for listening. Check us out, Save Your Game Podcast, on Instagram. Email us, mattandroses@gmail.com. You can check out my new podcast, Mutant Menace. We should be on our, what, 4th episode by now.
Dang. Knocking 'em out.
and they're released every Thursday. What do you want to promote, Roses?
What have I done lately? You know what? I got nothing to promote right now, and that's okay.
That's okay. That's
That is
perfectly fine.
okay.
That's so okay. Uh, we may or may not have an episode next week. We're not sure because Pushing Up Roses,
Mhm.
you are going to be in Mexico.
Yes.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked going to Mexico City for my birthday. That's where I will be.
Yay!
I am chronically online, so I will still be around posting all the things.
um, but
So I'm excited.
we may or may not have an episode. It depends if we have a topic and time to fit it in. If not, you guys can do without us for a single week. It'll be fine.
It's fine. We'll just post weird stuff on the Instagram.
Okay, sounds good. Um, all right. Well, I guess all that's left to say is, and it's never more true than when we have to look at all these ridiculous games. But I mean, well, first podcast is art,
Right. But as you said, art is suffer, and especially today.
especially today.